Kamala Harris. Oh my God. That's like deep breathing. She went on the Drew Barrymore show. And on Monday, they released a promo clip, which we played for our audience, in which it was just affectation after affectation with Drew. You know, for the visual audience, I'm going to do an imitation where my microphone is Kamala and I'm Drew. Oh, really? Oh, I mean, uncomfortably close, like as close as you need to be to a microphone. That's how close Drew was to Kamala. And I felt for Kamala Harris. I did. I felt bad for her. You could tell she had embarrassment. I had secondhand embarrassment, and you could tell it was too awkward of an invasion of her personal space. But this was Drew's attempt to show, I'm Oprah. Trust me, I'm Oprah. I get it. No. For Oprah Winfrey, it came naturally, and she didn't have to force a feigned intimacy. That's why she became Oprah. Okay? That's why back in her day, she was very special and one of a kind. You're not Oprah, Drew. And your segment with Kamala Harris proved it. So Kamala Harris, on the other end, is accepting this adoration as though it's real and as though Drew Barrymore speaks for us all. For she speaks for all American women, right? Like Kamala is our leader, the feminine hero that we need, feminist. First of all, for the first time in the Drew Barrymore television show history, they stocked the audience with all women. Here's a look at that, SOT 13.
Welcome to the show. Our guest
Oh my God, look at her.
no introduction. She is the first Black, first South Asian, and yes, first female Vice President of the United States. Please welcome Vice President Kamala Harris. I stand, but I'm already standing up. We have all women here today in the audience. Thank you, ladies.
I just threw up a little in my mouth. I don't know. Okay, let's just stop there. Batya, the over-the-top behavior of Drew Barrymore, who everyone used to like. She was cute when she was young and she was in these movies. And now this, truly, it's performance. It's bad acting. That's what we're seeing. In response to, I mean, you would have thought Jesus had just walked in. The way she treats, no one feels like this about her. Who does she think she's kidding?
It was a pantomime of, positive feelings. And even for Drew Barrymore, it was extremely overdone. And when I watched that, I couldn't help but think, like, this is what happens when you're extremely, extremely wealthy. What does politics even mean to you anymore when all of your needs are being met to excess? Like when you're a millionaire or a billionaire, what does politics even mean? You don't need anything from politicians. You don't need anything from this country. And yet somehow our elites in Hollywood still have this need to see themselves as on the right side of history. And so instead of doing an honest take, looking around the country and being like, hey, people really need things. I wonder what kind of policies we should be putting in place to help people with 18% groceries inflated, right? Instead, they do this pantomime of politics around identity because then they don't have to talk about the real issues. And that's really what we were seeing there is extremely wealthy people pretending they're on the right side of history.
And can you imagine how embarrassed you'd be if your introduction included something about your color? Like your race? What the fuck are you bringing up her skin color for? You're so fucking weird. I'm sorry, but in defense of Kamala Harris, you couldn't find one thing she did as vice president. I might not have liked what you might cite, but I'm sure the left, you could find something. I don't know. She went down to Tennessee after those 3 pro-abortion people, threw a fit. Something. She's the first to go to Planned Parenthood as a sitting vice president. Something that the left would. Her skin color is brown. I mean, that's really what she was saying. How offensive. But you're right. That's what they worship there. It's not like Jesus, because that's not who she worships. She worships skin color, which was on display. So then comes the following. Kamala offers the following little ditty about her name and what her stepchildren call her. Listen here.
We kind of don't use the term step. Because I just think I love Disney. However, Disney kind of messed that up, for a lot of us over the years. The evil step parent. And their word for me is mamala. And so they call me Momala.
All right. That's fine. I actually think that's kind of cute. It's kind of clever. I fine. Here's the follow-up by Drew Barrymore.
I keep thinking in my head that we all need a mom. I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Momala of the country. And as a woman who respects so much and wants to share and wants to be confident and has no ounce of me that has competitiveness, when we lift each other up, we all rise.
That's exactly right.
Oh my God.
That's right. That's right.
However, we need a great protector.
Oh my God. She wants us to believe that great protector who we apparently all need and desperately want is Kamala Harris. Just once again, another word on the fake behavior, the affectation of Drew Barrymore. Too close. She's right on top of her like she's her microphone. You can see she's on top of her. Get out of my personal space. And then again with the, I can't really do it because my Botox is too intact. I'll try to push my eyebrows. It's like that. With her eyebrows like, oh. We're just hurting. You know why we're hurting? Because of her policies. Her policies, which are outlined in your book, by the way, Second Class. So what did you make of it?
No, totally. America doesn't need a hug. We need a secure border. We need inflation to come down. We need better affordable health care. We need to get rid of the diploma divide. We need to restore dignity to the working class. We need vocational training. We do not need a hug. And you see here a real difference in working class culture, conservative culture, and then liberal elite culture. Working class people really value autonomy. They don't need their politicians to tell them what to believe. They don't need their politicians to share their values or tell them how to feel about things. They just need them to enact policy that enables them to keep more of their paycheck and buy a home. That's all they need. Liberals, on the other hand, they are super into politics as a kind of spirituality. And so they need their politicians to have some sort of spiritual, psychological, to tell them what to think and how to feel about things, because all of their material needs are being met. Because again, they're wealthy. 9 of the 10 richest counties vote for Democrats. 65% of Americans who make more than $500,000 a year, Democrats. Wall Street gave more money to Joe Biden than to Trump, right? There's been this realignment. And rich people, they look to these politicians not for policy, which they don't need, but for some sort of spiritual guidance, because they have no sort of internal sense of right versus wrong anymore. Thank you, universities. And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing a woman in Drew Barrymore trying to create some sort of idol out of this empty shell, which is Kamala Harris, who represents only being female and being Black and being Southeast Asian, right? That she has no policy. She is simply this empty husk of identities, because the Democrats went all in on this to distract from their plunder of the middle class. That's what we were seeing there.
Oh, and if the nation needed a hug, it never in its right mind would it go to Kamala Harris. There's nothing. That's why it failed so brilliantly, so miserably, I guess is the word, because it was untrue. If there had been even a nugget of truth in it, maybe it could have landed, but it didn't, because that's not who you would go to for a hug. There's nothing warm and fuzzy and comforting about Kamala Harris. Even the left would back me up on this. So it was just Drew Barrymore being completely obsequious, because I guess she was so thrilled she got a sitting vice president on her show. It was an embarrassment. It was almost as bad as her Dylan Mulvaney embarrassment. her inability to control her over emotionality is really a problem for her. And it's a real turnoff to somebody like me. By the way, most of us who have had good mothers, and I realize Drew Barrymore may not be on that list because she had the stage mother who pushed her and she was doing drugs at a very young age and all the stuff that she's come out with. You know what a good mother does? A good mother doesn't look at you and say, you're on your own. I mean, you can't do it. You need me to step in and be your mamala who handles these problems for you. A good mom says, you got this, kid. Life's tough, but so are you. You're good. And that's not what Drew Barrymore needs or was asking for. She's used to a lifetime of coddling and somebody else doing it. There's something called debt traps. And that debt trap you might be caught in is not your fault. Did you cause inflation? Did you set gas prices or make credit card companies jack up interest rates? The thing is that debt trap can destroy your life if you don't get out of it now. And that's why I want to tell you about Done with Debt. Done with Debt has debt relief strategists who can stand between you and your bill collectors. Then they negotiate a plan to get you out of debt permanently without bankruptcy and without taking out loans. But listen, some of these strategies are time sensitive. So contact Done with Debt and see if they can help you with a free consultation. Share what you're dealing with, and they could explain a strategy to erase your debt faster and easier than you ever thought possible. Go to donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com. Donewithdebt.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.